Hey, good morning, my friends, and welcome to Surfside, California. It's not very many mornings when it's this windy and breezy on the beach. I've got my back to the wind. I hope the mic is not picking up too much of that, but I can't help it this morning. It's a pretty steady 12 to 15 knots here. And normally you come down here in the early morning hours and it is flat calm. And really, that tells the story right now because we've got some nasty winds still persisting into today, making the bluefin tuna bite down there around San Diego and Ensenada very difficult. The Channel Islands kind of taking a step backwards. And also we continue to see that here locally as the winds are pretty stiff here this morning. We've got a lot to cover with you. We're going to talk about that bluefin tuna. We're going to talk about that Channel Islands white sea bass and halibut. 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro has had some great fishing on sea bass and halibut. And of course, the weather. What's it going to do? Man, I tell you, there's some good news in our future. What a weekend it's going to be weather-wise. And, of course, that will make all the difference in the world. You know what time it is, my friends. It is time for the morning briefing. First thing, Feliz Dia de las Madres a todas las madres in Mexico. I just want to wish all the great moms in Mexico a happy Mother's Day. May the 10th is Mother's Day in Mexico, so I want to send my best wishes along. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, and share these videos if you like them. Thanks for being here again this morning. It's cold, it's windy, it looks like it's going to rain. It's just that overcast kind of weather. June gloom in May, and we certainly have got that right now. So we'll continue to watch this for you very, very closely. Let's start you out and take you down to the beautiful city of Ensenada, Baja California, where they are celebrating Mother's Day today. And down in that neck of the woods, it's breezy. Pongueros are having a very difficult time of it, but this weekend is going to be gorgeous if you're thinking about heading down that way and fishing with any one of many great fishermen, including Louis Prieto, down there at For Real Sport Fishing. Louis, good morning to you. I hope you're having a great day and enjoying the celebration today. There has been bluefin tuna right around Ensenada, but it's been inconsistent, and now with this weather, it's really nasty and very difficult to get anything accomplished in offshore there. So again, we just have to wait for this weather to come down. And the good news is, and I teased it up front, we're going to have beautiful weather this weekend, but we're going to have to hang on and wait. Last night was tough on the bluefin tuna grounds for the San Diego-based boats, and so was yesterday during the day. We told you yesterday we had a much better signal than we have had, and we did. There was some much better fishing, but it's still not even approaching the great bite that it was or will be in the future. And I say that with a great deal of certainty because the boys in San Diego, that fleet, is seeing a lot of bluefin tuna. The quality of the fish seems to be outstanding with a lot of this 80 to 100 pound, 180 pound bluefin tuna roaming around. You know, there's bigger fish than that. So really, really good sign. But the reality is it's still tough. And a lot of that has to do with the weather. You know, with all this weather, I was talking to the boys on the Pegasus. They're out tonight, and they're out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. They said those 400 to 500 gram rip rollers at night were the way to get it done. And in this kind of weather, I can see why you need to get that heavier kind of jig right now. 3 rods are essential. Remember, 25 to 30 pound of fly line width. Number 2, circle hook will do you really, really good. And then a 50 to 60 pound, you can throw those Daiwa Sacanas, 100 to 150 gram lures. That'll work really good. And then you need that 2-speed reel, 80 to 130 pound. I just mentioned those rip rollers have been working really good. Pacifica, 7 bluefin tuna, 40 yellowtail, but their BFT, 80 to 180 pounds. Pacific Queen, 32 guys, 5 bluefin, 25 yellowtail. Tribute on a day and a half with 13 bluefin, 10 yellowtail. Pegasus with 11 bluefin and 1 yellowtail. The San Diego fishing that full day trip where they leave in the morning, come back that very same day. Pretty good shot of bluefin with 7 bluefin and 25 yellowtail. Man, I'll tell you, that is definitely a step upward. That also reminds me to remind you that even on the full day trips now, Mission Bell, Grande, Liberty, San Diego, you need to bring some heavy tackle because they're getting in to that bigger grade bluefin tuna. Also, kelp patties are hard to find when you got this kind of weather. Really hard to find. And having said that, even when you find them, you know, you got to have the horseshoe. You got to have that lucky kelp. So you're looking for kelp patties for you beginners. captain's going to have somebody up in the stick if they have one, or up on the roof, and they're glassing, looking for those kelps. You find a kelp, you roll up on it, and then hopefully there are some forkies on it. There's also been this free swimming yellowtail, not even on kelps, and that's reminiscent of the Dorado bite of last year. So yellows are starting to flush into the area. When this weather comes down this weekend, look for that to come roaring back. Look for that bluefin tuna bite to come roaring back. And I think that is imminent because of the sign and signal we're getting. I think this weekend's going to be great for those of you who are out this weekend. Many of you have left comments on our YouTube channel. I think this could be a very pivotal and great weekend for you all. Up and down the coast, we continue to catch lots of rockfish. That's been really, really good. And a little sign of surface action also going on. So from San Diego all the way up to the Channel Islands and beyond, it has been, Channel Islands way too windy. It's been nasty up there and other areas also, but it has been really good rock fishing going on as I kind of move to block the wind a little bit more here this morning. And then, you know, some signal of calico bass here and there also, like down there on the new Seaforth, out of Seaforth Sportfishing, a couple days in a row of good calico bass fishing. Some private guys out here on the Horseshoe have been getting the calico bass. Once that water temp hits 60, it really starts to bite. When it gets into the high 60s, the big ones come out to play. That's fun fishing for that. A lot of these guys, local guys, Davies Lock or Long Beach based boats, San Pedro based boats, sculpin and rockfish, nothing wrong with that. It's cold water year. Things take a little bit longer to develop in terms of surface fish. In the meantime, you get great table fare, you get a day out on the water, and this weekend, as I say, is going to be. We're going to deal with a little bit of wind. It's going to come down. You're going to get some windows of opportunity in the next 24 hours with a little bit of a blow up again on Thursday afternoon, and then it just goes into gorgeous weather. And if the forecast is correct, it's going to extend into midweek. It's going to be a perfect time coming off the full moon, which we think has that bluefin tuna and other species in a funk, into bite time. And we combine that as the stars collide with great weather. Man, what a great time for you to get out on the water. And if you're a novice angler, man, you jump on a boat with a great crew who can help you along. That is the way to enjoy the Eastern Pacific and all it has to offer for all of you. All right, Migo on a recent trip. Chef Jason was on there. Chef Jason is a good friend of mine, makes the trips on the Amigo so much fun, and his culinary skills are second to none. They had 10 white sea bass for 13 anglers. The Pride had limits with our friend Sky and Izzy over there at Blacktail Hooks. So there are some hits that are going to go down and up in the Channel Islands. Same thing. Aloha Spirit has had some signals of life. We've been seeing a lot of good signals. Tonight, the Endeavor is going to run a 2-day trip, and they've got a couple of spots open. You can call the charter master, Adrian, 818-585-9285. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Yesterday, out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California, a couple of dear friends of mine, Michael Limon was out, and his grandpa Dan, they were out on the Monte Carlo. They said they had 2 halibut, one really nice one, and then sculpin to go along with it. But Michael is out enjoying the Eastern Pacific. And again, he wrote that essay here recently about yellowfin tuna, won a great award. We're so proud of you, Michael. Keep up the great academic work, and you'll get to do more of this stuff. But you got to keep up good academic work. That is so very, very important. Along the beach here, this is fishable for surffish. There's a good smattering of barred perch from the border and below. Should say, you know, down there around Collinet and San Quintin. Man, that barred perch bite can be epic. It can be so much fun. But all the way up to the northern sector, county line, and up there around Ventura, there's good barred perch fishing. Yellowfin croaker, a little bit of that. That's going to get better as the water warms up. Halibut's been around because of the grunion runs. We just experienced one here recently. Lucky Craft lures, even a chrome crocodile, will work really well on the beach also. Unfortunately, we're dealing with the wind, but I see the silver lining in the dark clouds. I can see it clearly. Big fish, bluefin, out of San Diego, nibbling, not biting full speed, and we're dealing with this really crappy weather, and that's been the problem. You give those guys an opportunity to work in some nice weather this weekend, it's going to be game on. fingers crossed on that. Kelp patty yellows should also come back and start to bite better when this wind lays down. And also, you'll see improvement in everything else, including, I think, some white sea bass explosions that are going to happen this weekend in the Channel Islands and wherever it is the Pride and the Amigo decide to fish. Those boys have been on top of it as well as other guys. And don't let me forget the Fury down there out of Dana Wharf Sportfishing. They've had those big yellows along with the Thunderbird out of Davies Locker. Not a lot of them, but there's been some big forkies biting out there around San Clemente Island and other areas. That really bodes well. There's still quite a bit of market squid around. That is the magnet that gets all of these game fish in here. Halibut, sea bass, yellowtail. We still have squid at most of the islands. Sometimes it's hard to make, but there's enough of it around to make an impact in terms of inducing those species to flow into our area. All right, my friends, don't forget the Redondo Rod and Gun Club Surf Fishing Tournament, May 20th and 21st. You can sign up the morning of that tournament, May 20th. Big fish bait and tackle in Seal Beach, island fishing tackle in Carson, California, 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, and also at the Redondo Rod and Gun Club, $20. There's a great banquet Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Great fish tacos. You're going to love that. And I'm going to be there to goof around with you and have a really good time. I hope you can make it. More details at www.redondorodandgunclub.com. All right, I'm getting out of here, man. It's cold. It's windy. It's miserable. I hope you heard all of this. Hope there wasn't too much popping on the microphone, but unfortunately, it's really kind of breezy here this morning. Wishing you all a great day. Don't forget to tune in to the great show we did over there at Island Fishing Tackle last night. Sam De La Torre talking about the current bite, what's biting, what tackle you'll need to take those fish on. Great show again with Sam. Always appreciate working with him. All right, you know what time it is. It's time for me to say goodbye. I know you're heartbroken. You're going to have to wait another 24 hours for another morning briefing. Such is life. All right, my friends, thanks for all your great support. Remember, like, subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.